All right, here we are, the season finale of Teen Wolf Season 3. Um, this episode's called The Divine Move, which is a central part of the plot, and I'll get to that in a couple seconds. But basically, I think what I'm going to do with this video is one, I'm going to talk about what happens this episode. I'm going to talk about this half of the season in general. I'm going to talk about this whole season. I'm going to talk about this whole season in general, and I'm going to talk about the future a little bit. But I want to get through the episode. So, right off the bat, the episode starts off with everybody kind of grieving Allison's death, and we see that uh, Argent tells Scott and Isaac and Kira to basically lie to the cops, and he said that that's how I do things. That's what we're trained to do. And then when he goes home with Isaac, Isaac goes to his house. He's like, I don't need help. I can hold on to my emotions, and Isaac's like, I can't. And then they have like a moment, and it's kind of cool. Um, we also see that the twins are healing, and so they want to run. They just want to run away. Whereas Derek tells him, "Hey, you want to be in Scott's pack? You got to fight for him." And that's kind of that part. And now, lastly, for the setup is that um, Styles learns from Kira and her mom that in the game Go, the move is called a divine move, where you take the last bit of where it's kind of a genius move of strategy that allows you to win. And so he takes that information to Scott and Lydia, who are with Deaton, and Deaton says, "Oh, we can't kill him, but we might be able to capture him." And so they're like, "Well, we need something to hold him like the Nemeton." And so they decide they're going to use the Triskelay box that Talia's nails were in. So they call Derek up to get that. Now, while all that is happening, the Nogitsune Void Styles, whatever you want to call him, I'll call him Void Styles to make it easier. He starts causing havoc. He said him and the Oni are at the hospital, and they're killing people at the hospital, and they cut Melissa, and then their blades are like poisonous, so she's slowly dying. And the same thing happens at the sheriff's station. They kill a lot of the police, and then they get Deputy Parrish and Sheriff Stilinski. They both cut, and so they're slowly dying. And then later on in the episode, they go to the animal clinic, and they cut that. So that's that whole part of the setup. So, and then while they're in Allison's room, Isaac and Argent figure out that Allison found out that silver arrowhead will kill the Oni. So they find out that she made five. She used one to kill one, and so they take the others, and then they decide they're gonna go kill the Oni. So I guess Styles and Scott and Lydia and Kira decided they're gonna go to the school to to try to stop the Nogitsune. And so they go there. Styles says, even if whatever, no matter what happens to me, you have to kill him. And Scott says, the plan is to save you, not kill you. So uh, they go they go in, but then it turns out they're in some Japanese courtyard, and they're in the Bakara, no, Bardo. That's what it's called, which is the Japanese word for the state, the area between life and death. And they see the Nogitsune there, and then the Oni. And so the Oni says that Styles has to perform seppuku, which is the samurai thing where they kill themselves. So he summons the Oni, and the Oni start fighting Scott and Kira. And Styles almost gives up, and he's like, "All right, I'm going to stab myself." But then he realizes that it's a trick. So that's his divine move. He figures out what his divine move is. He tells Scott and Kira that it might seem like it's real, it might seem like it hurts, but just walk forward. And so they go forward, and it turns out that it was all not real, and they go into the school. Now, while that was happening, Derek and the twins are outside, and they're actually fighting the actual Void Styles and some of the Nogitsune. And then they're not doing so well. And then Arjun and Isaac show up, and Isaac takes the Triskelay box to Scott, and Arjun kills all the Oni, but Aiden gets stabbed, and is later revealed that he dies from his injuries, from the stab wound. But back inside, Void Styles shows up. He's like, "Yeah, you think you can't kill me?" And he knocks out Scott and Kira, and he approaches Styles and Lydia, and then they bring up the scroll, which says you have to change the body of the host. And instead of, you know, so I guess instead of biting Styles, it was like, oh, you can't be a wolf and a fox at the same time. So Scott bites him, and Kira stabs him, and so then he dies. And he kind of falls on the ground. He becomes the Firefly, and Isaac catches him in the box. So the threat of the Gitsune is at least temporarily gone, and so I thought that was cool. And Styles passes out, and then it turns out he's fine. And all the people, like Melissa and Sheriff Stilinski, they're all fine and whatnot. So, yeah. And then the wrap up of the episode is, for the a good bit of the wrap up of the episode is Scott teaching Malia how to control her transformations. I guess Malia's going to school. Everybody's grieving. Styles is taking off all the things on his wall to clear his mind because, he's got, he's going through a lot. Just all kinds of stuff like that, kind of unimportant things. And then we see that Derek approaches Styles. He's like, yeah, I've been dreaming. And he's been having this dream that the hunters that kept caught him and Peter earlier were after him. And he's like, well, how do what's the problem? He's like, I'm not sure if I woke up. And so then he pulls up Styles' hand and he says he has 6 fingers. And then basically he brings up the notion that, there's more than, and myth says there's more than one way to become a werewolf, in which the main ways are a bite, he said drinking the rainwater from the footprint of a wolf, and then the other way is a deep scratch. And then, a flashback is shown to Kate Argent getting her throat ripped out. So so then we see that what Derek's in his loft, we see that it isn't a dream, and those hunters show up, and they just kind of die, and they're killed by someone, and then Derek gets shot in the stomach, and it turns out it is Kate, and she's alive, and then she turns into a something. I think it's a were-cat. I'm not sure. It looks like, because her face kind of looks feline when it kind of distorts when she like transforms. So, and that's literally where the season ended. So, and Ethan runs away. He decides that he doesn't want to stick around, and so he tries to break up with Danny. Danny breaks up with him, and Danny says, I can't date a werewolf. Meaning Danny kind of is known. I don't know how long he's known, but it was just a funny moment, I thought. So, yeah. So, this episode, the whole divine thing, Styles, the whole divine move, that's kind of like, it was boom, all the things came together for everything to end correctly, and so it was really cool. And this whole season's been really good, especially this half. This half of the season I genuinely think has been the best half of Teen Wolf is. I mean, I've never been more kind of second guessing what's happening the entire time than I have this whole season. Honestly, even the first half was really good. I feel like just the writing is a lot better, whereas they're kind of foreshadowing things much better, and just all around, it's just a really fantastic season. There's the death of Boyd, the death of Erica, Malia, and just all kinds of things. Of course, Allison's death was easily it is the largest one of it all, in the aftermath of that. And on that note, really quick, I'm indifferent on Allison's death. Before I was kind of like upset a little bit. I was like, man, why'd they have to write her out? But then apparently I read somewhere that she was the one who wanted to leave, so I'm okay with it now. She wanted to leave. She wants to do other things. That's fine. Maybe she can come back, because I guess technically they've shown it so far. Nobody really dies on Teen Wolf. I mean, hell, they just brought Kate Argent back, so yeah. It's kind of funny. But yeah. And then I made sure to watch most of Wolf Watch before this. So they hinted at some stuff that's going to be happening next season, which is, of course, Kate Argent's back. Malia's going to be around more. And I guess her and Styles is going to be a budding relationship. And Scott and Kira is going to be a budding relationship. And apparently Derek's going to get a love interest again. Maybe this time it won't be a psychotic sociopath. But also, apparently part of it takes place in South America. I follow the Teen Wolf Wiki, and they post behind-the-scene photos. And so, boom, and Braden's back. You know, they keep having Braden. And it was really funny when they were talking about getting cut, you know, that might change you. At first I thought it was Braden, and then they showed the clip of Kate Argent, and I was like, oh, I see where this is going. So I guess, you know, bringing her back early in the season kind of almost makes a little sense more now because, you know, now she's, you know, I guess they're bringing her back for good. So, I mean, it's not like just a one-off couple of appearances. So, they also gave the date for when season 4 of Teen Wolf will air, and that is June 23rd. You will see season 4 of Teen Wolf. And I just think that's awesome. You know that's hell. What it's March now. That's not even hell. That's not even. That's like 3 months away. Like even the last break wasn't this abrupt. Like that's kind of cool though. Like I just like that the show's staying consistent and it's on all the time and you can stay invested with all these characters. So I hope you guys have had fun with this. I've had fun watching Teen Wolf and I hope you guys have enjoyed watching me. So man, I'll see you guys later.